Okay. So there's this template here in Google Classroom where every time I have a template, I shouldn't see my information remain. It should be replaced with yours. Like, there's nothing more frustrating when it's title of formal lab report, and then you say, okay, my lab, and all you do is you like add to it date, by student name, you know, and you put in there like James Reed. And you're like, okay, well, why didn't you actually get rid of that and put in yours? Okay, replace that information. That's there so you know what goes there. And then this is an entire page. It shouldn't just be at the top of a page, but a cover page, a title page is the whole page. That's why it's called the title page. Okay? I refer to that in the rubric. Look, title page is worth 5 points. If you don't give it a whole page, you can't get all 5 points. And like this is like easy 5%. Okay, easy 5% to get. Now you notice that one I didn't bold it, but I bolded the other ones. Introduction, purpose, hypothesis. Those are things that I'm expecting to see. Okay? In this case, we really don't have a hypothesis. We're just literally trying to observe what's happening for these different chemical reactions. Okay? We want to go in so that we can see and perform the experiment so that we can do a double replacement, that we can do a synthesis reaction. Okay? We have to look for the signs of chemical reactions. Do we know the signs of a chemical reaction? Okay? How do we know that a chemical reaction is taking place? So we have all of these that we are going to have to include in our report. Okay, let's go back to our template. Okay, so with our template, the next page is where I do the introduction. And here are some reminders. Now this shouldn't stay in the final thing. I can keep the subheading. The subheading is good, but all the rest, I want to change that out. Okay? You can leave it in there temporarily, just as reminders for you, but before you turn it in, remove it. It looks really sloppy when you don't. Okay? You wouldn't do this for a boss where you would just go, oh, here's an answer, and you just give back exactly what they gave you. There needs to be 2 in-text citations. That means I need to find 2 sources of information. Okay? Because not all of this information is coming out of your head. Do you know everything about chemical reactions right now that you could just write about it and not have to look anything up? Probably not. Okay, there's probably going to be some stuff that you're going to look up, and you can look up things in your textbook, use your textbook as the source, or use a web page like you Google, you know, types of reactions, and use a reputable website. Okay, we're not talking answers.com or Wikipedia, but what we're trying to do is use things that might be, you know, other educational institutions and things like that. We need to write about the types of chemical reactions that we're studying. We need to provide some background information so that we know what are the kinds of reactions. What are we studying? How do we recognize them? Okay? Provide that information. I need 2/3 of a page, and I need to remember to double space things. Okay? And then I go on to the next page. I've listed a purpose, or I say that you need to include a purpose. You need to include materials, include the procedure, include the results, your analysis, and your conclusion. What I've written underneath each of these subheadings, you need to replace with your stuff. Okay? The bold you can keep, but everything else that's instructions, replace with your stuff. And then the final page, you should have a bibliography where we use things in APA format. Now, in the past, I've always said, go to Purdue OWL. But Google Docs has changed things now that I can go to Tools, Citations. I can choose to do this as APA, and all I need to do now is I can say, well, hey, I got this from this website, and I'm going to just search for one types of chemical reactions. Okay, so here it says chem.libretext.org courses. You know, this might be some good information from Valley City State University. There could be some good stuff. I'm not going to say that there necessarily is, but say I take that particular source. I can copy the address, and then I'm going to come over here. Actually, no, I would have to find the author. I find the title, I find the website title, I find the URL. So I put that in there. I have to find each of these bits of information. So here it's like we have author. Do we know the author? Let's look. Did it say a specific person wrote this? Not really. It seems to be this group of people that put this together. Oh, here's contributors. So here are the contributors. We have CK12 Foundation, these people, and this author. So I can say that this person, Alison Sult, was one author. So sometimes you have to look around a little bit. So first name, Allison Sewell, but there was more, okay? And so I'd have to add the next one. There was really these 5 people as well, Sharon Bewick. So I'm gonna add that in there too. And I'd have to add all the people. Okay? So I would continue to add each of the contributors. What was the title of the page? Title of the page is 5.3 Types of Chemical Reactions. That's the title of this particular article. So I come over here, I put that in. The website title, what's the title of the website? Chemistry LibreText. Okay, so Chemistry LibreText. Published, does it give us a date? Yes, June 5th, 2019. June 5th, 2019. Oh, actually that's just, sorry, published day, 5, published month, June, published year, 2019. When are we accessing this? Today is the 3rd of November of 2020. Not sure what the short title is. Okay? So we do all that. And it gives us the whole thing to cite. Okay? So I can come over here. There's my in-text citations. I can add that. Okay, this put it in a different place because that's where my cursor was, right? So really this would be up here where I cite it. And then I could also take this, it says insert bibliography. There's the information for my bibliography where I go, okay, I don't want this anymore. I just need this. Put in my bibliography, which is going to be down here. I need to get rid of this other information, that's my template stuff. But there's just started with the bibliography, and I need to do these in alphabetical order. Okay. This should be listed in alphabetical order. But does that make things easy for you? Yes. Am I still going to have to look through the page to find the information? Yes. But look at all the typing that you don't have to do, and it just automatically, here you go. Okay? It automatically formatted everything for you using APA format so that I could put it in the bibliography. And I also have it that if I know that I got that particular information for that sentence for the introduction, I can cite it. And this is the in-text citation. You know, having a minimum of two of these is what gets me full points, as well as having the link. Are these useful tools? Yes. Okay, so what I need you to do today is I need you to do some research about the types of chemical reactions, because here is what our lab is going to be like. Now this is also in the same thing in Google Classroom. This is this Word file right here. Okay? And so what we're doing is we're observing different chemical reactions. We are looking for evidence of chemical change. This is another thing you can write about in your introduction. Okay, matter undergoes both physical and chemical changes. Chemical changes result in the formation of new materials. Observable signs of chemical change include release of gas, a change in color, the formation of a solid, a change in heat or light. The chemical reactions can be classified in many ways. We have one classification has 5 general types, which are synthesis, decomposition, single replacement, double replacement, and combustion. And so we're going to be performing 4 different reactions and classifying those based upon the type. And so you have instructions on how to do each of the 4 reactions. You're going to have to give me observations of what things look like before the reaction, what things look like after the reaction. You need to balance each of these equations as part of your analysis. And you have to write a conclusion where you, for each reaction, tell me what sign of chemical reaction you observed, how do you know it was a chemical reaction, and to classify them and why you classified them the way that they did. So this is stuff that we've been doing the last couple days in class. The only difference is we're actually going to see firsthand these reactions happen.
So, with the procedure, would you just copy and paste the procedure and put it in a report?
I would try to put it in your own words. Okay, your words are not going to sound the exact same thing as mine. Could I copy and paste portions? Yes. Would it look exactly the same? No. Like, I would definitely try to copy things when I have like the subscripts and stuff. Like, I copy small portions like that, because it takes longer for me to work out how to go format, text, subscript. That takes a while. But I wouldn't just copy and paste the whole thing. Okay? But you have all this information in front of you that, can you write it? Yes. very easily. So the key today is use your textbook, use some other source on the internet, write your introduction where you give me information about types of chemical reactions, how to recognize them, the key features, the reactants, the products. You may also want to talk about chemical change. What is chemical change? What are signs of chemical change? So that I know a chemical reaction is taking place. Give me some background information before we go into the lab, and give me 2 in-text citations. But use this citation tool. It's really, really awesome that you don't have to go anywhere else. All you have to do is use your book or use the website, search for the information that they ask about. You know, in this case, if you were using a section in a book that's, you know, a print book, you can use your textbook and talk about the authors of the textbook, the section title, the publisher, the published year, which pages, what edition, what volume. You provide as much information as you can, and it will automatically do the citation and your bibliography format for you. So how can I help you guys out? You guys ready to get to work on that?
Yes.
Sounds doable, doesn't it?
Yes.
Does it sound long? Yes.
It sounds fun.
Get to it. Use your time wisely.
So we're just collecting information.
Well, you're writing that introduction, so yes, you can collect information first. Make sure that you keep track of the source, like at least the link that you're using. Okay? You can also use the textbook. There's nothing wrong with using the textbook too. Like, a lot of this information's in there too. Collect the information and work out how to write paragraphs that give us some background regarding chemical change and chemical reactions and the types of reactions, because we're looking to recognize those.
The date we put, what's the day or the date we're trying to use?
The date is the date that it is published. If you can find a publishing date or a year.
No, the laboratory, when the date was laboratory.
That I would probably put November 9th, which is when it's due. Like, you won't finish things up until then. I would assume. maybe you first wanna start talking about what are the 5 kinds of reactions.
There's five.
There's 5.
I thought we went only over.
What? You thought you weren't
I
what?
thought we only went over 4.
We talked about synthesis, decomposition, single replacement, double replacement, combustion.
Oh.
Did we not? Okay. In the textbook, I think they only talk 4 because they don't talk single and double, they just say replacement. Correct?
Well, they talk about it, they just don't talk about combustion.
Ah, okay, well, I'm adding combustion. And that's okay, it just means that you don't have information regarding combustion in that section. Could I find information about combustion? Yeah, very easily. What am I looking for? That oxygen gas was a reactant, carbon dioxide gas, and water is a product. It's a good thing. Oh, I believe it. Pretty common. Honestly, you know, for a lot of you, I'd start with research with the textbook first. Like that's an easy grab for information, right? That textbook has a lot of good information for your introduction right there. And I know that I can find, you know, the information that I need for my citations and for my bibliography. Let me know where you guys need help. Your focus today really should be on that introduction.
Yes, ma'am.
That's where you're. Yeah, the second page is introduction.
Can you give an example of the reactions I won?
You're saying, could you give an example of a reaction for the types in your introduction? Yeah, you could. But cite where that information is coming from. You're gonna have to provide that source where you provide the author last name, and basically the year that whatever is published. In-text citations are pretty simple. Just need to be done. You know, where did that information come from? It probably wasn't your head. Where did you find it?